Siri, take a note.
What do you want it to say?
My ex ran a train while I was in prison.
Okay, I created a note. My ex ran a train while I was in prison.
Thank you, Siri. That'll do for now. Full disclosure as I begin this video. I'm gonna try to share this story with you guys with as much dignity and also self-restraint as possible, and also without putting anybody on blast or degrading or making fun of anybody while sharing this story. This happened, this is real, but folks, I gotta be honest with you. Mistakes will be made. I'm just trying to tell you. Also, as I begin this, hey, don't mind me. I know I'm sweating. I just got done working out, man. I've been working out super hard. It's Saturday morning as I'm filming this. It's a beautiful day. This is gonna be the wrong day to have them kiddos out while I'm filming this video. I'm trying to tell you neighbors. And also, I've been waiting a minute to tell this. Since I think Thursday, I've been waiting to tell this. I couldn't tell it yesterday because yesterday I went and took my Class A contractor's exam. I fucking failed all of that. If you'd like to see more on that, check out Joe Does Stuff. I've got a banger of a video up there about all of that today as well. But this one right here, folks, yeah. There ain't gonna be a lot that tops this. I've told some stories now, but none like this. Folks, just the other day, I got an opportunity to talk with somebody I haven't talked to in about 20 years, 2 decades. While talking with this person, we laughed, we cried, we reminisced. It was a good time, kind of. At least at first it was. While talking with this person, they would do something that I don't think I've ever had happen before, and that would be they would make a confession to me. Again, unlike any that I've ever heard before. They would say, hey, Joe, I just want to apologize and say that I'm sorry for such and such. Now, when they first said this, we're carrying on, we're laughing, we're reminiscing, and I'm like, yeah, who you talking about? Such and such? Yeah, Joe, I just want to apologize for what happened with such and such. And then they went a little bit further and said this person's last name. And when they did so, I was reminded of an ex-girlfriend of mine who I had all but pretty much blocked out. When you think about serving time and you think about emotional distress and things that can just absolutely hammer you down, drive you, like pile drive you into the earth while serving time. Well, what would end up happening with this particular ex-girlfriend of mine was one of those such situations. I mean, this hurt me when I was younger. It did. Now, it doesn't mean nothing to me except for being a story that I can share with all of you about how Joe experienced Jody in real time and 20 years later. Just this past Thursday, I got an opportunity to talk with him on the phone. And lo and behold, it was actually a really good friend of mine from back in the day. A really good friend of mine was my very own Jody. Son of a bitch. Sorry, I got a little ahead of myself right there. So anyways, this dude was like, hey, look, I'm sorry for what happened with such and such. Now, it's the clouds, the compartmentalized vault is starting to open up, and I'm starting to remember, and I'm like, oh, shit. Damn, I forgot about Shorty. Now, when I think of that particular female, an ex of mine, man, the shit that happened with her, the title of this video is that, and I ain't talking about no fucking, no amtrack conductor here when we talk about running a train, right? While I was locked up. But I ain't thinking about that part of this just yet as this dude saying, hey, look, man, I'm sorry about what happened. And then he go on to explain it a little bit more. And, I'm not going to put dude out there for this. I commend dude for sharing this with me. This was something that he didn't have to share with me. Now, to be fair, I did check out his Facebook page, and I did see that, there has definitely been a fair amount of interaction, at least through comments on posts, between him and this chick. And, this dates back years. I was able to go back quite a long time and see a little pattern, a little history here, right? But again, that's, coming a little bit further. So as he's explaining this to me, he's like, look, man, I'm sorry about what happened. He's like, hey, man, she was dealing with a lot of stuff. Her family wasn't doing so good. There were kids involved, young siblings or whatever. And dude, he had a soft spot for trying to help people. Now, mind you, back in the day, hey, I was up to absolutely no good, as was this guy. The difference was, though, for me, not only am I up to no good, I'm also getting high. And the stories that are coming about Joe smoking the crack, there's a big one that I'm going to be sharing with you guys that was, I was reminded of when all of this can of fucking worms got open. I've experienced almost everything that there is to experience after prison. If you think about anything and everything that a person can experience after prison, like the positive things I've experienced, pretty much all of those, I can't think of anything more positive for me to experience. On the negative side, I've experienced those too, but more so during my first trip to prison and coming home after that. And all of the time and all of the experience that I have, I ain't never experienced no shit like this. Having this Usher-like, these are my confessions, taking place right here on the old telephone from a person I considered a really good friend. Now, again, let's talk about Joe back in the day, dude back in the day. Joe was getting high. Dude was up to his own version of no good, except he wasn't getting high. So I ask y'all, first, is there a gray area with this? Should it, you gotta, look, hey, Joe, what did you expect is one thing to think, right? Joe, you was just scum of the earth. You weren't worth the dirt on the floor. Like, for this to happen to you, you kind of deserve, you should have seen this coming, right? But I didn't, because whoever does, right? Especially back then, thinking back then. We're talking 20 years separated. I had no fucking idea this ever happened, right? I knew some things happened and some really crazy things that we'll be talking about here today, but I ain't know about this. So, as dude is basically telling me, Joe, I'm sorry, I smashed your ex-girlfriend while you were locked up. We was constituents back then. Counterparts. We were friends. And at least I thought we were, right? But friends don't do that to friends. But again, on the other side of the coin, Joe, you were getting high, man. You should have known. And then, shorty girl, like, yeah, hey, boy, there's a million sayings that they say in relation to the female, right? You can't turn a hoe into a housewife. What did Lil Wayne say? If you catch my girl legs open, you better smash that. But don't be surprised if she asks you where the cash at. Why ain't I getting no fucking commissary? See, now I'm really mad thinking about that aspect of this. And it gets deeper too. I mean, I could really go further with that. For example, fuck it. For example, we reminisced on a whole lot of things, right? I had another homeboy during this time, a person I considered a friend, who was another bad person. And I was hanging out with this person all the time. And they were locked up in another jail, and I was locked up in the jail that I was at. And we were writing to each other. We were actually pen pals, crazy enough. Well, dude telling me on the phone, he going to visit dude the whole damn time. The whole time he's locked up and I'm locked up. And going to tell me you couldn't find me. How many Guerrero? Well, I can't say that because there were a few. It is what it is, right? So here's one angle that I come at this from. I always thought so fucking highly of this dude. This dude was the man. When I was younger, this dude was like, he was a super cool dude. He was just a super good dude. Would always help you out. Would always help anybody out. And maybe him wanting to help my ex is what led to. I got to make it as real as it was. It's kind of interesting. So anyways, he was always a really good dude. And he's still a really good dude. Dude has done exceptionally well for himself. I'm happy to see that he's done so well. And it was great to talk with this dude on the phone. And, we talked about, hey, maybe getting together and, catching up. But after the call, right, and I'm going to go back to the call because we got to get to the train. The train is the title of this video. After the call, and I got a chance to think about this, and I got a chance to talk to my wife and tell my wife about this situation, I thought to myself, I was like, I can't never fuck with you again. I mean, I got no issue. I got no I don't think anything bad about you. Even what you did. I think it was pretty fucking justified, right? Shit like that's gonna happen. You're young, whatever, right? Jody is a real fucking thing. And I guess it just sucks because it is a person that you think or I thought was a really good friend of mine. And hands down, it's not like he ain't know about me and her at the time. So there's that aspect. Great to be able to reminisce with this dude. Great to be able to hear that he's doing well. Great to be able to talk about so many other things that happened in the between time. Honorable, noble even, for this guy to go as far as to admit, hey, Joe, while you was locked the fuck up, you remember that girl? That back in the day, no disrespect to my wife at all, because, I'm the happiest, marriedest man that there is. And man, am I blessed, for my wife and my life at this point, and we'll get to that a little bit further. But back then, oh man, I thought Shorty was the one. If you think Joe is dumb and has made some bad business choices throughout the time that you've known me, 6 years here on After Prison Show on YouTube, imagine me 20 years ago, younger, dumber, and making even worser decisions back in that day. Oh man, hey, you see this? You see this? This is the one. She's awfully friendly with everybody I know, but you know what? She's just a socialite. She's the life of the party. So shit she was, and I would find that out long before this dude was telling me that he smashed her as well while I was locked up. So we go back to the phone call that I had with this guy just on Thursday, and he's telling me all these things, and he's mentioning the girl, and, he's telling me, hey, look, hey, she was, dealing with hard times, her family, yada, yada, her little sister, whatever. It almost reminds me of that movie Casino. If you've ever seen Casino, the greatest movie in the world, Robert De Niro, Joe Pesci. That clash they had in that movie with Sharon Stone. And if you remember, Sharon Stone would always be running to Joe Pesci, bitching about Robert De Niro. And Joe Pesci was always there. Yeah, girl, hey, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. Sorry, it's hot as shit in the shed as I'm filming this. It kind of reminded me of that, right? But as we were talking about all of these things, he brought up a key word that just hit me. And I was taken back, flashback. It was almost like PTSD. I was back in the war, hearing this one word, and it wasn't one word, it was a phrase. And that phrase was the house on Turnpike. Now, folks, I don't exactly know of this particular house on Turnpike. Turnpike is a road. There was a house there. There's probably many houses there. But when I think of what this house probably was, I think of a dilapidated, distressed property, probably in desperate need of a card being put in the door talking about, hey, we buy houses. I think of a distressed property. I think of, the grass, whatever. I just think of a place that was grungy, dirty, and a place you definitely didn't want your girlfriend hanging out at. And show shit, because it's me we're talking about here. And I was locked up. I had some other constituents, people that I thought were my friends, a running crew, so to speak, no gang. But a crew of guys that I ran around with, I tried to always impress. These guys weren't shit, still aren't shit, and that's sad. I don't say that to be disrespectful, but it is the truth. One of them guys is, I'm sure a few of those guys are locked up now. If not dead, I would just hope, everybody would just be able to get their shit together. Kumbaya, my lord. Hey, man, no hate at all. There was a house on Turnpike. One of these guys that I used to run around with had this house. All of these guys that I used to run around with and thought were my friends used to live or hang out over there as well. And I can't remember who told it to me, but I think it was the guy that I did my very first jailhouse tattoo on. I don't even want to say he's a good guy because, I don't even know anymore. It's hard to say. People you think and thought were your friends, hey, you find out 20 years later, man, hey, they was renovating your ex-girlfriend's nether regions. Knocking walls down, basically. Throwing hot dogs down a hallway. So to speak, no disrespect, it's just a saying. So anyways, I'm pretty sure, if I can think back to it, maybe it was this guy, maybe it was another guy, but that guy's name, we'll just call him M for the sake of this. And M knew everybody as well. M was this little dude. God, he was so little. One of the funniest things I remember about this guy was we were in this open dorm housing unit in the jail. It was 4th floor. There were no doors on the cells, and you had like 8 people per cell. But it was a super soft ass, housing unit, I guess. And M was quick to pick up on that because he would just talk shit to anybody. Even the biggest dude in there, like, shut the fuck up, you dick-eating bitch. You ain't gonna do a fucking thing. We're on the 4th floor. He lucky he didn't get an open car garage put in his mouth, meaning his 2 front blockers knocked out. But, hey, he got away with that type of shit, and it just went to show you that back then, hey, that was a soft ass housing unit, I guess. But I'm pretty sure it was M who told me, hey, Joe, I hate to be the one to tell you, and I think it was this dude who told me this. He was like, hey, Joe, I hate to be the one to tell you this. Now, mind you, I think the girl had just left me at this point. I was in one jail. I get moved to the jail where I'm in there with M. I'm still dealing with this. I'm still dialing the number every day to no avail. The number, there's no money on the phone. When you're young and you're dumb, you're just thinking to yourself, she's gonna put some money on the phone. She misses me. Nah, she don't. She at that house on Turnpike, as M would tell me. M see me running over to this phone every chance that I could, trying to dial to no avail. There's not gonna be, we're sorry. The number you're trying to call is a party getting a train ran right now. They conducting that joint, and you stick man to caboose. But I didn't know. M would tell me, hey, Joe, listen, I don't know how to tell you this. Okay, I don't want to be the one to tell you this, but someone needs to tell you this. Joe, there's a house on Turnpike. You got, I want to say their names just to make it so real so you can understand how many people we're talking about here. But let's just say you've got 6 people over there that you know very well. You know them people? Number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, and number 6. You know them people, Joe? You remember them? You thought they're your friends, right? They're not. They ain't your friends. Because guess who else is over there? Joe, I don't want to be the one to tell you this, but Joe X, the one you keep trying to dial, she over there too. And I was over there as well. I just used to go cop the weed. I was copping devil's lettuce over there. That's the only reason I was going around there, Joe. But they told me, you know how we are? We gonna gossip about the situation, Joe. Hey, Joe girl over here. She running the amtrack all day long. What the fuck? God. What do you mean? It's not true. It's not true. Yeah, I compartmentalized that bullshit. I shut that joint and I locked it, put a freaking deadbolt lock on that money. We was never gonna open that door again until Thursday on the phone. Stickman telling me, hey, Joe, I'm sorry, but there was a house on Turnpike also. So he had already apologized for smashing. Then he brought up the house on Turnpike and I was like, oh my fucking God. M was right the whole time. M wasn't telling me no lie. He wasn't trying to bid off of me because he's eating the popcorn, watching, man, this shit better than Prison Break right here. Look at Joe on that phone. Hey, I take a bet. I got 3 soups. How many times do you think he's going to dial before he give up? 40? Shit, I'm going to say 25. 74 times. Joe, you ain't got no quit in you. So dude told me on Thursday that he caught my ex-girlfriend's legs open and he smashed that. Meanwhile, I'm in jail asking, hey, yo, where the Cash at on the phone? Do you got Cash App? We're talking early 2000s back then. I mean, shit, smartphones weren't even out yet. And you know what? I don't even blame the girl. We were all young back then. It was a crazy time. It's just one of them things that happened. I got no business even wondering, but of course I do now that I've got these facts. I wonder if dude was part of the old Thomas the tank engine, Thomas the steam engine. I wonder if he was a part of that type of action as well, if he was party to the train. I wonder if it was because he heard about the train that's how whatever. It doesn't even matter at this point. One thing that I want to mention, I don't want to make this super long. It's already pretty fucking long. I don't want to keep harping on this. It's just crazy that it's been this long. I was telling my wife about the situation. I was showing her, like, on Facebook, yeah, this is, this dude we used to hang out back in the day. It's crazy. He, told me that, he smashed my ex-girlfriend. And show shit, as soon as I showed her the picture and I clicked on it, like, her name was right there. And I was like, oh shit, that's wild. That's the girl right there. So, that's what led me to her Facebook profile. And that's the only reason that led me to that. And I want to share this with you, right? I run across a post on her Facebook page. Again, not putting this girl out there for nothing, but it's just an ironic post, and it said, I'm just super grossed out by females these days. Like, y'all literally go from dude to dude with no problems. Just can't rock with it. I'm sorry. And I think to myself, that post was from 2021. I think to myself, yo, you said what now? You can't rock with chicks that jump from dude to dude, but we just gonna forget the house on Turnpike, huh? Ain't even gonna mention that. Look, it is what it is. Hey, it's just ironic that I got to experience Jody in real time, 20 years post-mortem, basically, 20 years after the fact. It doesn't affect me. I'm not like, oh, I think the only thing that really strikes me about the whole situation is that, damn, man, it was a dude that I thought was my ace, right? But just goes to show you, hey, Jody can happen to anyone at any time and be anyone as well. You watching this video, you could be a Jody and you don't even know it yet. How crazy is that to think? I want to say one final thing before I wrap up this video. I look at my life now and I'm blessed. God, boy, I'm blessed. I got a beautiful wife. I got a beautiful life. Houses, dogs, cars, Range Rovers, F2, boy, hey, flipping, business, working on my contractor's license. I've done all that I've done in an effort to make my life better, to try to help others, motivate others so that, they will want and see that you can achieve better in your own life. And I mentioned that because, when you go through these situations, I think back to when this happened. I can't never forget this. Now that we've opened that door, I'll never forget that. What it was like when M was telling me this. I'm feeling like, man, I'm going to get out. I swear to God, I'm going to get out there, and when I do, I'm going to do better. And I'm going to show them all. Joe want nothing to sleep on. Joe want no slouch. Boy, look at him now. And I don't say that to say, hey, look, I'm doing way better than all y'all doing. Them being that tag team convoy of Jodys running that train out there. It's not even about that, because you know what? I still wish the best for them and for everybody else. There's no hate about it. It does sting a little bit, right? It does let me know, it's probably a door, the past is probably best left in the past, to say it as nicely as I possibly can. But when you're going through it, you think to yourself, man, I'm going to show them all. And I'll be damned if I ain't been able to do that right here today, as a matter of fact. I'm blessed for what I have and what I've accomplished in my life. I stress that all of you can do that as well, no matter what. And if you go through something like that, where your girl, becomes awfully friendly with everybody that you know, let me tell you something. As corny as it's about to sound, what don't kill you makes you stronger. Hey man, I'm able to actually laugh about the situation now. My best friend. That's like the shit you only see on Jerry Springer. Oh my God. Oh my God, my life was a train wreck. Sort of like what Shorty was doing back then. Isn't that ironic? Just one of them things. A very special shout out to my beautiful wife, and a very special shout out to each and every one of you out there as well. I wish the best for this guy that I just got an opportunity to talk with after 20 years. I wish the best for the girl. I wish the best for the world. And I leave you with that. Hope this was a video you guys enjoyed. I hope I didn't forget anything. I had a lot of keynotes and bullet points I wanted to address in this video. I hope I got to them all. If I missed any, I'll pick up on that while editing this. But again, hope this was a video you guys enjoyed. If it was, leave a like and a comment letting me know exactly what you think. And one final question I want to leave you guys with as well. What would you do? Was he right? Was I wrong? Two rights don't make a wrong. Two wrongs don't make a right. I'm just curious. It's a little food for thought. Have you ever been through anything like it? If so, and you want to tear the scab off, leave a comment down below. As always, until next time, enjoy life, the free world. Never take a moment for granted and make the most of every day. Peace!